warning before you listen. This epic is not for children, nor for the faint of heart. We retell the ancient Greek myths as they were born, unfiltered, unsoftened. Scenes of violence, curses, betrayals, and a hunger for power that shows no mercy. Given the many conflicting versions of the Titan War, the events have been rebuilt to complete the missing pieces. Here, we tell the myth as it was meant to be told. Sources and references are listed in the episode description.
Chapter 35, from War of the Titans, Clash of Weapons and the Fall of Time. The third fall, when the shadow bleeds but does not break. When light dares to strike darkness, both must burn. That night, the earth didn't sleep. It listened, not to footsteps, but to something that slithered behind the walls, something that didn't walk but crawled, and in its hand, a blade carved from an ancient idea: fear is mightier than armies. The camp was ready, torches blazed, eyes watched, but what cannot be seen cannot be stopped. This target was unlike the others, stronger, harsher, unforgiving. Talos, bearer of the sacred armor, the beast who could not bleed and never laughed. He trained alone, fists pounding against boulders, as if mountains were too soft a foe. His iron chest glowed with the memory of past wars. In his eyes, a silent promise, death to anything that dared approach. In the shadows, Hades watched. Crawling through the old web of forgotten tunnels, he emerged beneath the training ground, where sweat steamed off stone and the scent of scorched metal choked the air. He stood unseen, measuring the distance between silence and the first strike.
This isn't an opponent, Hades thought. He's armor without cracks, but even the hardest stone casts a shadow. And then he rose from the earth like a scream made flesh. His spear descended in a perfect arc, but Talos twisted, the blow clashing against his armor in a spark storm that lit half the arena. Talos turned, ripped a chain from his back, and slammed it into the ground. The dirt cracked open, revealing a blade of black flame. "I thought you were a ghost," Talos said, deadpan. "But you're just a coward, hiding in shadow because you're too weak for the light." Hades grinned. "And you are a shield with no mind. That's why you'll die, and never understand why." They collided. Spear clashed with fire. Walls buckled. Stone rained from the ceiling. Talos swung with a burning sword, cutting deep into Hades' shoulder. Blood exploded across the floor. But Hades didn't step back. He twisted like a coiling wraith and drove his spear into Talos' side. No one screamed. Silence was the only sound, bleeding. Talos lunged, crashing into Hades, ripping his sword across Hades' abdomen, a brutal gash. Hades staggered. He dropped to a knee, but his hand never let go of his spear. He breathed like he was swallowing hellfire. "You cut me," he hissed, "but you'll never do it again." He leapt, twisted midair, and drove the spear into Talos' throat, so deep that his fist vanished into flesh. Talos didn't fall. He shattered. He knelt, then collapsed face first. His hand still gripped his blade as if refusing to die without a fight. Hades stood over him, blood-soaked, ashen, but his eyes burned with a fire never seen before. He stepped forward, severed the head, and wiped it with a trembling hand. He looked around the ruin, spit out blood, and muttered, "They thought I was a shadow, but I'm the wound that never heals. I am silence, and I kill anyone who whispers my name. No one, nothing, will stop me." And so the third fell, but this time, Hades himself bled. This chapter of the epic has come to an end, but remember, what you've just heard is not a record of facts, but the echo of a myth, a story born from the imagination of the ancients, etched into the long memory of humankind. If this tale stirred something in you, if it opened a door to reflection or wonder, don't forget to support the channel and share the journey with those you love. And in the comments, tell us which moment in this chapter struck you the most and why. We'll meet again in the next chapter of this audio odyssey through time. Until then, farewell.